in a matter of days, not weeks, but days, Americans and Chinese people have already started comparing medical costs, showing the cost of basic foods like corn, and even debunking misinformation that the US government has been sowing into the minds of older generations for decades and spending billions of dollars on, like that social credit score thing. I saw a video of someone who she apparently was a far-right MAGA, like full-on Republican. She was born and raised, her whole family is far-right MAGA. She made a video saying that she went on that app and is now completely shifted to the other side. Completely left-wing. Like all the information that she was taught and raised on, completely wrong. And she's like, she's literally had an awakening. It's crazy. Watching people grow class consciousness over Rednote is so interesting.
Please stay for this, because I've reached the part in this whole like class consciousness part where I'm just filled with the most impotent rage, and like I'm talking that white hot, I need to sink my teeth and into something and scream kind of rage. Because what do you mean that it never had to be this hard for us? Like, what do you mean in other countries they don't have to spend 20% of their paycheck on groceries? What do you mean in other countries everyone can own homes because they're not paying $2,000 a month in rent, or that their mortgages aren't like their entire paycheck? What do you mean that people in China work one job and they don't even work 40 hours and they can easily afford their life? And then I'm over here working 60 hours a week, just me as a single parent, to like barely make ends meet. And I'm penny pinching every single second. And like, there's so much of life that my kid misses out on and that I miss out on because of money and like work and no social support net. And you mean to tell me that it didn't have to be like this? They keep us in these chains on purpose, and it never had to be like this. Like, I did everything right. I went to college. I had to drop out of college to take care of my mom when she was sick because, again, no social services, like, no safety nets. My dad worked his whole life and died and left everything to my mom. My mom was disabled, and she lived on credit, and, like, she barely made ends meet, and she did everything she was supposed to. And I did everything I was supposed to, and it just keeps getting worse. It was never supposed to be like this. And I'm so angry that it is. Because what do you mean? I've spent so much of my life working so hard to scrape by. And it never had to be like that. My suffering was at the expense of someone else becoming wealthy because they could. And I am so angry about this. It can't stay like this. It doesn't have to stay like this.
What's up, folks? Hope you all doing well. I am Fikazo. Welcome to the channel. Hope you have subscribed, liked, and please share this video. Now, we are still on discoveries of Rednote. You know, Xiaohongshu, where Americans have discovered a lot about China they have never seen, they have never heard about, and it is their first time. This app has brought many people together to realize what's going on. Americans have discovered that Chinese are good people. They never hate on them.
I'm not being dramatic here, but this app is going to change the world. Hear me out here, okay? I'm a little bit emotional, so just stick with me. This is the first app ever of its kind to connect Chinese people with Western people. For the first time ever, we are communicating, we are sharing our world, we are sharing our cultures, we are sharing our thoughts, where we come from, how things are. It is incredible. I've been living in China for 6 years, and I have to be very honest with you guys. It has not been easy because there has been a price I've had to pay. Some of my family has turned their back on me because they don't support me in living here. Some of my friends and I have had falling outs. It is what it is. I've had to come to terms with it. But with apps like this, People will finally start to understand how beautiful China is, how kind the people are here, how delicious the food is, how there are so many places to travel with so many amazing cultures, diverse cultures. I love China so much, and this app is the future. I'm so excited for the future. Finally, like for the first time in a long time, I'm so excited and I have hope. I have hope for us.
Now, Rednote is an app that connected Chinese and the Western world. People were not expecting this in 2025 because the tension between the US and China is big. For example, the tariffs right now. Trump is opposing tariffs to China. So the tension were really not good between the two countries. Now, when they're about to cross TikTok, American discovered Xiaohongshu. Xiaohongshu have been there for so long. I used to have Xiaohongshu like 6 months ago in my phone. So I used to see what's going on in China, many content, but I was not interested in Xiaohongshu. But by the time they closed TikTok, that was the option. People didn't want to go to other apps, those other apps. So people went to Xiaohongshu and they discovered what they have never seen with their eyes, what they have never heard with their ears about China, about living China. And we've seen Americans who are living in China quietly, no one knowing what's going on. They are living a better life and they are appreciating what's going in China. So many people have discovered. That's the reason you have to learn from this, because you try to discover a lot of things. Don't consume what people are giving you on the table. You behave like a child who've been given food on the table just to eat that food, and you're able to go and provide some other types of food you can eat. So don't consume one food, don't consume one sauce. Just try to get different aspects of what's going on. Try, do your research, because that will be better for you to know what's going on, to know your next step, and to know where you're going. So it's not good for you to stay in one place, which have been the discoveries of Americans to know more about Chinese on Rednote.
I can't believe it. I'm watching videos of Americans finally realizing they've been heavily brainwashed by their own government, saying that China is bad, after being on Rednote for just a couple of days. Now, I've already seen some content from there that's been shared on this platform, and I'm gonna tell you, they're pretty spot on. I mean, they have developed a lot in the past 40 years. Just Western propaganda just makes them sound evil. But if you were to ask any genuine Chinese person about how their country is, they'll tell you honestly. And yet the US are dumb enough to believe what their government tells them. Wow. Utterly shocking.
Yes, China might be better as people, the way they talk about, like the way Americans are impressed by China. But let me tell you one thing you have to know. Each country have better and worse, has good and bad. So it means you may appreciate China for the good life they have, but there are some other stuff you don't know. That's why you need your discoveries on the ground. Just go be on the ground and know what's going on. Don't live there as a tourist, because tourists, they don't know what's going on. Just take your time, go and live there for 1 or 2 months, 3 months. You will realize if this country is better for you. Once you are planning just to move out, like you want to move out from where you're living, you want to go to explore, you want to go to another experiences, so you should do that. So, but don't stay in one place, because staying in one place will make your life boring, will make your life look like, there's nothing going on, life is boring. You just travel. Yes, there's a lot of discoveries in Africa. What the media have given you about Africa is totally wrong. You should just plan, go to Southern Africa, Eastern Africa, Western Africa. Those, just go there. You will thank me later because you will discover what the media have never shown you. That's why, like for example, what you discovered on China, because you've never thought China would be like this. So a human being always is curious to know what's going on. So you better grow your curiosity and just move, travel the world. The world is beautiful. God have created this world for us to enjoy. So don't stay in one place. I know the bills are a lot. Sometimes you cannot afford that. Traveling is expensive, but try your best. Try your best. I'm telling you, try your best. You will discover that, wow, I wish I could traveled before.
I want to start this video off by acknowledging something we all very much know. The government that does run China is communist. There are censorship laws that a typical American wouldn't agree with. When I say these next few things that I've discovered about China through the citizens themselves, I only say these things because it shows what a government is capable of doing for their people. And if even the Chinese government can do this for their people, the United States, you've got no excuse. No excuse, none. Up to 90% of people in China own their own homes. So yeah, about 90% of people own their own homes. Quite a few of them have more than one home. They have like a summer home or a winter home. And that's not just the super rich, that's pretty common. Their utilities and bills, groceries on average, is vastly cheaper. The amount of food that they can get with essentially $100 is much more than what we can get with $100. Everyone has healthcare. Everyone. And if something were to happen and you needed an ambulance, you do not have to pay for that ambulance. And they also don't have to deal with typically almost every day a school being pewed. Their kids are happy to go to school. Or if they're not, it's just because they generally don't like school and learning, and that's kind of pretty common with other kids too. But see, they don't have to worry for their safety. Okay, yeah, is it the type of government that we would want running? No, we're already seeing signs of it. Our freedom of speech is already being kind of taken away, bit by bit. Also, we've been lied to about their technology. They are ahead of us. Their cars are better. Their phones are better. Their computers are better. Even the algorithm is better. And were you ever taught of a social credit system that they had to live off of, where like their actions and words are constantly judged and there's like a literal point system? That's American propaganda. Now, this is not me saying that the Chinese government is better than the US government. No. But again, as I said earlier, if even the Chinese government can do this much for their people, the United States has no excuse.
On my take coming to Rednote discoveries, what I like the most between the Americans and Chinese is the bond they're building right now. Americans thought that Chinese hate them. Really? Tell me in the comment section if that's what you also thought about. So the Americans thought the Chinese hate them a lot, but when they went to the app, they got the most welcome. Chinese are most welcoming people. They welcome them on the app, showing them, teaching them Mandarin, showing them what to do, how to use the app, and Americans have liked that, which makes them to stay on the app. Now they don't want to move out. They're gonna have Xiaohongshu Shu in their phones. So closing TikTok have made them to discover another app, which we thank technology. Yes, technology is good. So it's showing us China when we are not even there. It's showing the reality of China when we are not there. So that's why we are thanking technology for doing that for us. Rednote have opened eyes of many people where they don't have even to delete the app. They still have some discoveries to do there. So they're still keeping the app for discovering, So which is good because I believe there are a lot of places where Americans don't know what's going on because of what the media have been showing them. Mostly when you come to Africa, Africa has a lot of discoveries you don't know. So even if you you want to discover the world, Africa is the most interesting places you can visit. Just visit. Don't come to live there. If you don't want, it's okay. Just visit. Okay. Don't fear. Don't fear. Just visit, because you may think in Africa there is hunger, there is whatever they talk about. But please plan your trip. Come to Africa. You'll thank me later, because you will like more. Africa is more of diverse. A lot of things. A lot of things. We enjoy the nature world. You will see that things are still natural. People are eating like organic food. Yes, don't consume. Yes, the media will tell you, Africa, there is hunger, there is what? Bro, just plan your trip. Plan your trip. You'll thank me later. Thank you so much for being here. Let's catch up in the next episode. We keep discovering on Rednote. Rednote has a lot of stuff, man. Thank you so much. Even you can go and try to see a lot. Just download the app in your phone. You'll see more about China.